kind of who I've talked to and what they've done in the tournament, going 3-0 in their group.
Okay.
From team, what was the other team again that they're playing?
I think it's it might be Max City.
Yeah, it's Max City, the team that lost that last game yesterday. Yeah. They did all right. First 20 minutes of that game, that game I saw versus this team here is SC Orange.
Yep.
And then they just kind of fell apart at team fight phase. At that one dragon they got there, where Cassidy got that triple kill. So I don't know. It might have just been that one fight, and they kind of tilted out a bit, and the game went from there. So they definitely had a strong lane phase at the beginning of the game. So it's definitely a possibility there for that other group. The other side of the bracket, I don't really see that happening too much, but I know ISP has some stuff in store for Jetler.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Dusty Virus yesterday, and he's like, I know that the ISP is gonna have some sort of cheese. Like, I'm not sure about the other teams, but I know ISP is gonna have something silly.
Yeah.
So
I play with Dusty a lot, and we were practicing for this tournament together when I was still able to play, and we'd been watching some ISP. We scrimmed with them a couple times, and there was definitely some interesting stuff coming out.
So it looks like both teams actually just running towards their red buffs. I don't know if they're actually going to stay and defend this. It looks like, they're going to push forward.
Yeah, 5-man stack from Obzen. I feel they're going to go for the blue here.
Yeah, and Zesty Orange actually has a ward at their blue buff. So when they do invade, they're going to see that it is going down. Lots of pings going down around that red buff from Obzen, or from Zesty Orange. And Obzen looks like they're going to come in here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the timing. If they go for 155, they should be able to get it without a problem. But if they go a bit early, we might see a level 1 fight.
Yeah, imagine if they're going to do the creep around, the TSM creep around the edge into the tri-brush and just wait it out, or if they're just going to go straight in. It looks like, yeah, they are going to wait it out. Oh, they're going now. Looks like Shen working his way over.
Yeah, he's popping his way up. He might be in trouble here. Looks like bot lane's going to back off here. Ping going down. They're just for wolves there.
Oh, Tarek stayed.
Well, it's probably a good decision, just in case. I don't know if they're going to fight this.
They seem kind of set up like they want to, though, unless they just have really bad map awareness.
Lee Sen's just going for red. They're just going to maybe try and get this with 2 men here.
Oh, yeah, they might try to. Oh, they could. Yeah, they could do this.
Taunt, and that's
this is very, very smart play, and that's actually pretty huge. I mean, getting that early move onto Kha'Zix, get some gold on there with the assist. Yeah, and
Shen also picking up that gold is going to help him out against Jace big time.
And I actually like that play from Acolytes, just basically being like, hey, I know where you're going. You want to get to lane as quick as possible. I'm not going to let you get to lane for free. I'm going to put some extra damage on you.
Yeah, that was a very good response from Zesty Orange there. Probably should have had someone scouting in that bush at least, if not a ward there.
Oh, we see Lee Sin coming around on this blue buff. Cho'Gath trying to work on this, but he didn't get his blue buff before. And we have a red buff Lee Sin coming here. This could just be a really bad day for Toon Squad, and it looks like that is what it's going to be. In comes Lee Sin again.
There's
cripple, resonating strike, and boom, done and done. Also, you have a blue buff Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix, nice rotation over to cover his teammate.
First. He got there first, so Rise could not help at all, even though it was probably going to be too late anyways. Lee Sin was right beside him before Cho'Gath noticed anything. We have Phoenix coming from the bot lane. Blue buff does get stolen away, and they should be able to disengage here.
And right now, in these early stages, Team Zesty just playing out, what's been given to them, or what the situation is just a lot better than Obzen, and props to them. I mean, they came ready to play, obviously.
That early ward at blue just gave them a 1K lead, basically.
Oh yeah.
Because Lee Sin just went straight from red to blue off that, and he knew Cho'Gath was going to be there, and he was going to be level 1, and they just took full advantage.
Which is kind of an interesting thing to me, because like when the game first started, and I think because this game's still being figured out as we go along, but usually the response to stuff like that is whenever you got invaded, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go to their blue, and then sometimes there'd be this weird standoff where teams were like, okay, they're going to go to our blue, well, we're going to ward their blue, go back and then keep tabs on it. But really, like, when you do an invade like that, since so many teams are so concerned with getting their bot lane to bot lane and it removes 2 of you, like, you only have 2 or 3 people there trying to do a buff. You're really, really susceptible if the team wants to collapse on you, that they can just kill you and take the buff. And in that case, it was only 2 people come in, they get first blood and they still take their own buff and just, you know, snowballs it away from you. So I think just kind of invasions, you know, originally, like, it feels really good when you come with 5 people and you ward people out. But Lee Sin might be in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't want to lose that double buff, but it looks like Acolyte's trying to come in here, and Rise is going to clean this up. And now we have Kha'Zix going to actually get knocked through the wall.
Yeah, I don't know about
good guy,
one.
Jace.
Unfortunate.
Good guy, Jace.
That was real good rotation there by Obzen. It didn't look like Rise was going to come up to help, and they did pull away that buff, but Cho'Gath was able to get some help over from Jace, and then Rise collapsing in. Able to take that Lee Sin down. It's going to let them catch up a little bit. That gold going on to Cho'Gath, who really needed it because he is behind both of that buff. So he will have them on him now. See if he can get anything done. I know he's down at least a full level here.
And again, it's kind of one of those scenarios, again, like, when you evade, it is dangerous, and you just basically kind of got Cho'Gath back in this game right there by getting him that gold and getting him a double buff, which you stole. You spent all this effort stealing from him in the first place.
Yeah, if I feel Shen needed to respond a little bit there. I'm not sure if he looks like he was a little pushed back, so that might have been why he was a little late to that fight. But if Shen was there, I feel we could have had, you know, a pretty big engagement with 2-3 kills going down. But instead, just Cho'Gath going to pick up the Lee Sin, get back into this game, and it's tightening back up from that early advantage.
Yes, definitely. And we look at the CS, it looks like everybody pretty much, even in this early stages, we see like a few little creep aheads. We see Lee Sin come down to the bottom. Phoenix, as we expected, with a slight advantage, at least so far, with that MF.
Yeah, he's up 10 CS, and we'll see if they can keep expanding that, or if Zesty Orange can keep that to about that level. I feel if they can end the lane just not dying a bunch, they're going to be pretty well set up here for the mid-end game.
Yeah, I like that so far. We already see a giant belt on to Shen. Shen doesn't care about nerfs. He just wants to get super beefy. Obviously get a little bit extra damage on his abilities as well. And we got a big wave pushing in on Ezreal, so we're going to see how good Me 670's last fitting under turret is. Ezreal, I think, is actually a pretty good champion for this because Mystic Shot has a pretty low cooldown. So you can do, and you get that attack speed for landing your spells. So it looks like he's doing so far. It looks like he missed. Just missed it at the end, but he was doing good at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, he's closed the gap a little there, so that's nice to see. I mean, normally with these lanes, you'd probably at this point see most teams just push down that bottom turret to rotate over. But I don't think that's what they're going to want to do here. I think they're going to try and exploit that Phoenix is probably going to have a lot more CS in that lane, and they're going to want to keep it for probably another 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I think so as well. Plus, you know, the longer they kind of keep this laning phase too, you know, Rise obviously would love to basically just keep up his laning phase and just farm up a whole ton so we can get that late game tanky.
See some aggressive out of him, taking Kha'Zix down to a third there. He's going to have to chug some pots. Yeah, Rise has a bit of an edge there in that mid lane, so that's kind of what you expect to see early in that matchup, and then both of them kind of get quite beefier at 6.
Yeah.
Don't know what evolution we have on the Kha'Zix here.
Imagine it'd probably be spikes.
That's usually what it is, but I did see somebody take wings. Looks like
he does have spikes.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, I think it's widely considered from a lot of players, that's kind of one of the first ones you want to go.
Yeah, and then the wings second at level 11. Yeah, that's when you see Kha'Zix jumping on everybody.
You want to become Super Tristana.
Yes.
Being a real terror to the enemy team. So far, Jason and Shen just basically just trading back and forth at this point, not doing too much in that top lane. Rise, we've seen a little bit of aggression from him. Kha'Zix now stacking up that mana as well. He's going to be able to spam those spikes and be able to actually push against Rise, which Rise sometimes has a little bit of trouble dealing with. Looks like we're going to see Phoenix just start to back up here with Taric. Meanwhile, Cho'Gath's going to transfer over the blue to 53.
Yeah.
So he's going to be good. And Misfortune's picking up BF Sword. And yeah, Phoenix having a pretty good lane so far.
Yeah, he's doing well as expected. That's really how we thought that lane was going to go. We see Ezreal. We saw in the game yesterday. He's just still in lane.
Oh, there's
that damage out of Kha'Zix. Yeah.
He is ready to spring his trap. Actually, luckily, too, I think Cho'Gath was in the area, so even if there was a big, huge dive going on, looks like Shen being pretty aggressive back, too. He's like, hey, you don't get to hit me with your hammer for free.
Yeah, he just missed the taunt there. If he hit that, there would have been a little bit more of a chunk there coming out of that top lane. I feel that that minor CS lead is just out of that one kill that Shen got at level 1. But
yeah, I mean, I think that has to definitely be part of it. He's definitely going for a Warmong's armor, of course. Nothing too crazy and surprising there. I'm guessing from that rejuve bead that would be the way he's going with this, but I guess we'll have to see.
And we do see the boots of mobility on Cho'Gath, so I expect to see some aggression out of him. Just hit 6, so that feast is now up, and see if he can pull anything off. I'm not sure where he's going to want to go. We got some pretty good escapes on all of the champions, actually.
Lee Sin coming in here. We have level 6 in bot lane. We might see the crescendo, and we're going to see the safeguard. Sonic Wave just barely going to miss.
Yep. We've hit the 10-minute, 30-second mark, and haven't had any move to Dragon yet, but there hasn't really been that much opportunity for a kill. Some more trading up top, not really producing anything. Same thing down the bottom. Phoenix just building that lead. It is now about 25 with a bit of a wave coming in for Team Zesty Orange.
Yeah, and we've seen him also start to put a lot of pressure on that bottom turret, or at least like he was already had pressure on it, but he's actually started attacking it. They're starting to whittle it down little by little. Of course, being safe, doesn't want to get too overly aggressive and get caught out. Both teams have warded Dragon, so they're going to be getting ready for that engagement here pretty soon, I imagine.
Well, we had a stun out of Tarek, and Sona losing about another quarter of the life. We could see with a little more poke here and engagement down the bottom. Cho'Gath sitting around the mid lane waiting for Kha'Zix. He's going to peel off, though. It doesn't look like anything's going to happen.
Yeah, so far, Demnis, it looks like he's actually had pretty good spidey senses and map awareness and had some good warding, so hasn't been caught out too much. Pink Fuzzy just zoning there with that dazzle. We see Pink Ward go down, so getting that brush control.
Yeah, no, they're doing a really good job of taking control of that lane. I think they're going to reduce this turret here so that we can, they can just take it on demand and turn that into some other objectives.
See Lee Sin creeping towards that middle. Cho'Gath is in the vicinity. I don't think they're actually going to pressure this. Looks like Lee Sin backing off.
Yeah, ping down to the entrance to blue buff, but nothing going on in or around there, so not sure what that was about. Looks like Rise is just going to back off.
Is bottom lane where most of the pressure action is going on. See a little bit of trades back and forth in there. Both supports trying to sustain up for their team. Sona working overtime. And actually, yeah, so we actually seeing the Sunfire Cape actually out of Shen first. So no Warmogs for him. Just going the early rejuve beads to have that extra health sustain in that early phases of the game.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to make sure he could stay even on farm because Jace was picking it up a little there, but it's right back to where it was now. So, yeah, that Sunfire Cape's going to help him enable that split push when it does get to that point in the game. And I'm surprised we haven't seen any gank attempts from him. With Jace leaving the lane here, I wouldn't be surprised to see something going on. Maybe we can see a crescendo out and into the Shadow Dash, but doesn't look like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, Lee Sin's been trying to get around the map, but every time he's kind of come in, poked around, and thought about going in, it really just hasn't worked out for them. They haven't been able to actually really catch Phoenix in that bottom lane or anything, and they were going to see the bullet time there to do some wave clear.
Yeah, he's going to head off for sure now.
And there's the counter.
Yeah.
Chaperone.
Yeah.
I have an ult too.
That probably saves the aggression for another minute there, at least. Just trading back up top again. They're poking each other. They're CSing, and they're staying at about that same 10 CS gap that they've had for a little while here.
Yeah, Shen building just a very slight lead, but the gap for Phoenix 130 now. So he's getting there and already has a Bloodthirster over Ezreal. So if they engage, he's much, much stronger than Ezreal right now.
Yeah, I was surprised Zesty Orange didn't follow up on that original blue buff steal. If they came in at 7:30 or just now when the blue spawned again, I feel they could have control of that objective for, you know, the first 1 or 2 extra times that it spawned, but they didn't take advantage of the timing that they did have from that initial invade after the level 1 kill.
Yeah, I feel like they might have got a little bit gun shy after Lee Sin got caught out in the jungle.
Yeah,
and so they decided, you know what, maybe we should hold off our pressure, or at least mentally just kind of ticked it out of their mind.
That definitely could be the case.
And there is the bottom turret falling. Phoenix and Pink Fuzzy controlling that bottom lane. They're actually gonna be able to keep this up for at least a little bit. They have some good warding. They actually have all the vision. Obzen has all the vision around Dragon right now. They have the pink ward and 2 wards at the entrances and exits, and they actually got a good stun right there actually onto Ezreal, but they didn't really follow it up with anything.
I think that Obzen really wants to force a fight here. If we look at the ADs.
Kha'Zix's going in, trying to do some burst damage. He's going to ult, come back out of this. Ryze getting his rotation back up again, trying to hunt him down. Lee Sin going to come in, trying to turn this around, but he has a red buff, but he's not going to be able to catch Ryze. So Ryze with that blue buff still doing work. It looks like Lee Sin, we do see him creeping around here, throwing down some wards for his teammates. Misfortune and Tarek setting up to do themselves some big golems, and they're going to be able to get this.
Yeah, I feel like Obzen wants to force an objective here just because of the difference in items between the ADs. We've got a Bloodthirster versus just a Vamp Scepter and a Doran's, essentially. So there's a huge difference damage down there, and Cho'Gath looked like he might come around, but instead he just took a little trip around the red buff, saw it wasn't there, and backed off.
And look at that vision from Obzen. I mean, they have that entire bottom jungle pretty much set up, and you see they're actually pinging for Dragon now. So if they go for this, like you said, they'll have a really good item timing versus Team Zesty Orange. And we actually have Ryze rotating up onto Shen. I don't think they're going to be able to get this, but they're trying to run him down.
Yeah, they should get one more snare on there, but Jace just deciding to get some CS instead. I don't think they would have got that kill anyways, but they definitely could have pushed the issue a little more, see what happened.
See both teams kind of setting up in that pattern. They know that Phoenix is rotated out of lane. Tark and Jason nearby, actually going to clear out this ward, so Cho'Gath is basically covering him while he does this. Lisa and Kha'Zix rotating down to give a little bit of pressure. We see MF going up. She's going to be taking that red buff for her team now, transferring that over to her, basically just stacking the guns basically on the flagship, which is going to be Phoenix. And now we see in response, since she is up there, we're going to see Zesty Orange trying to do this dragon, but they're taking way too much damage, not going fast enough, and they don't want to get caught out here. Although they're going to go on to Ryze, and actually we see the leapfrog from Kha'Zix. He's not going to be able to get Ryze. Ryze rotating out of this, and it looks like Obzen doing pretty well here, but there we see Shen getting in there, is able to pick up a kill, flash over by Phoenix, and Phoenix is going to try to lock this one up, which he should be able to do with that red buff. Shen doing some work, but it's not going to go through. Phoenix sealing the deal right there. Ezreal backing off out of this. Sona really can't do much by herself here, and it looks like Obzen has earned themselves a dragon.
Yeah, Phoenix really the all-star of that fight. Kha'Zix leaps in on the Ryze, and at the same time starts the curse of the bullet time there. No curse, just a bullet time. The Kha'Zix leap was the curse there. Yeah, jumped right into it, and I think he caught 3, if not 4 members, and it really changed that fight. Just a lot of damage out of that misfortune, and they took the 3-for-1 in the dragon. That's going to open them up just over a 3K lead here.
Yeah, and as we saw, earlier in the game where Zesty Orange was playing against Max City, it's like sometimes you just need that first little gap, and then you can just start to slowly build on it and pull away.
Yeah, and like I said, they really wanted to force a fight there with that MF, having the BF sword. The completed Bloodthirster already, where we just had the Dorans and the Vamp Scepter out of Ezreal. It was a really big difference in damage, and it showed in that fight with the bullet time going on to their whole team and just shredding everyone.
Yeah, a lot of, I like to see this from Obzen. or actually both teams actually have a decent amount of wards, but Obzen, you know, they go back and they're like consciously always having stacks of wards at their disposal. We even see 3 wards on their support Tark. Tark has not only a sight stone, but also 3 wards on top of that. So they have a potential for a lot of vision as they start to move in here. We're going to see them start sieging some turrets with that advantage.
Yeah, it's good to see them rotating around. Zesty Orange definitely not slacking off in the wards now. They have the sight stone, and they've got 4 wards spread between their team as well. Not quite as many, but still quite a few wards. They do need to get some vision back on the map here, as Obzen was able to take advantage of just the extra warding that they did have there.
Stun coming in onto Lee Sin, but he has some juke moves, so they're not going to be able to lock that down quite easily.
So we have the second turret going down in the mid lane. We should see them rotate top fairly quickly here and just taking that last outer turret.
So one thing I'm kind of interested in is they ran out, and we said they didn't get vision on the map, but they ran right back to Dragon, and they threw down a pink ward, and they got vision around there. But you know, Dragon takes a while to come up, so those wards are kind of going to be faded, as you can see right now. And actually, the pink ward was already there, so never mind. But running through there and putting some vision down there, but those wards are probably going to fade pretty soon. They might try to use it to cover Ezreal pushing bottom, but bottom still not necessarily where they completely want to be. We see some warding up by the golems in their own jungle. We got River and in case we see that now that middle turret is down, we see Obzen sneaking around trying to get off any ganks on anybody trying to farm that mid lane. Lee Sin basically being the bodyguard for Kha'Zix at this point in the mid lane.
Yeah, Team Obzen definitely taking advantage of the opportunities they're given, where I feel that Zesty Orange had some opportunities to do some things with Crescendo and Shen just coming down to
bullet time.
Bullet time, not quite going to get there, but this trade is not going to go well either.
Kha'Zix coming over the wall,
a lot of damage.
Cleanses that ignite, but not going to be able to escape. Actually, I don't know if that was on purpose, but if that stop was to dodge the sonic wave, that was actually pretty stellar, but it wasn't going to keep her alive, but still. Rise turned this around, put some damage on, but Shen is coming into the mix now. Rupture going up, trying to slow the advance. Nice positioning by Tark to actually get a stun over the wall, but Shen chasing this one down, and they're just going to have to hold him in place because Shen right now is getting pretty beefy.
They did trade a turret.
The long sonic wave kicks Rise back. Rise flashes over the wall. Going to try to trade the Kha'Zix. He is going to come out on top, but now Lisa is going to fall. Tark being able to pick up that one. You see one for the supports there, and Cho'Gath actually really, really low.
Yeah, we end up 2 for 1, 2 for 2 on the extended engagement, 2 for 1 on that follow-up there for Obzen. Quite well done from their team. They were outmanned there, but Rise, Tarek's positioning there was beautiful. Rise just hitting every snare, getting a little bit of distance from the team, and they end up just losing Rise and picking up 2 in the way to turn that into an even engagement overall.
Yeah,
and they did get the turret up top as well, so that's going to put them ahead. As you see, they're almost at a 5K lead now.
Yeah, and Jace just was obviously just like, hey, you know, you're going to leave out of lane? All right, I'm just going to go push this up. He still does have his teleport, though. So I think in the engagement, if he really wanted to come in at any point, he could have hopped to one of their wards. But he's keeping it open now. And I think taking that turret was actually, you know, obviously, like I said, they still kind of came out on top of that one. But they also got he was also able to take the turret as well. So overall, I kind of agree with what you're saying earlier. I feel like Zesty Orange had a plan, and they've just kind of got knocked off the tracks a little bit, and now they're just playing reactionary game to what Obzen's forcing here.
Yeah, once they caught that Lee Sin on red buff, all that aggression that they looked like they were going for just came to a halt, and you know, they have that global Shen ulti. They did not put it to use. That might just be because they're afraid that Jace is just going to be there as well. There's not really any point. But you know, with the Crescendo, they're going to be able to hold people in place. He's going to be able to get that taunt off, and they just didn't go for it.
Misfortune now with Brutalizer. Looks like she's going to be heading towards a static Shiv eventually, maybe. We'll have to see there. Yeah,
she's probably going to pick up both the Shiv and eventually the Black Cleaver as well to go with that bullet time. It's been doing so much damage. As you see, a 60 farm advantage from that lane as well now. If we take a look across, it's really not much difference. 10 CS for both the top and the mid laner here for Team Zesty Orange, but that 60 CS in the bot lane is going to come back to haunt Zesty Orange over and over again.
We can see Phoenix positioning. He was actually up around the corner, so he knew if there was a ward down there, he actually still wouldn't be in vision. Plus, he'd still be near his back line for his team. So definitely, he knows he's very important. And the thing is about bullet time is that there's a lot of times where even though it seems like a really big ult, you can still miss a team in a team fight, or they can spread out and you don't get maximum bang for your buck. But so far, Phoenix's bullet times have been pretty dead on, and that's going to be very, very key for them in these team fights.
Yeah, as we see the dragon being taken, they should be able to get it without a problem.
Oh, true shot coming through, but Misfortune's going to lock that up, and we haven't seen the bullet time yet. Knocking Shen out, waiting for that to get out of sight of that taunt, and now we go with Gottacon is going to be falling down, and Shen still alive, has a lot of health, but will he be able to live through this? Going to be picked up by the double kill by Rise and me. All by himself now, mid lane getting chased down by a giant Cho'Gath.
Just like his name implies. A big part of that fight was Sona just got...
Oh, cleanses. Nice reaction on that cleanse.
Sona just got blown up. I do not know. The crescendo did not go down, and that's a huge ultimate that needs to be in that fight.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. And so their team got obliterated. We see almost a 7K lead here. We should see them buy out pretty quick. Another major factor in that fight is Kha'Zix just completed that Bloodthirster, so he didn't have a major item yet, where we've had major items out of all the other players on the Obzen team, and that difference in damage just showed a lot in that fight. I mean, Shen could take all the abuse, but if nobody's going to do damage, he's eventually going to go down.
Yeah, and Kha'Zix was trying to dive in to be that assassin, but the problem is they were kind of really, like you said, they put a lot of damage onto Sona, pretty much knocked her out of the fight, and then when Kha'Zix come in, all they had to pretty much worry about was Kha'Zix Shen, and everything else was just kind of just gravy.
Yeah, I think that Sona's just going to have to make sure the positioning's just a little better there, or she's going to have to maybe crescendo a little early just to make sure that that ultimate does hit a couple people and get into the fight, because not having that just made that fight pretty one-sided.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is the case, but I know for like a lot of teams, obviously there's a lot of hyper focus on Phoenix, and rightly so. But at the same time, it's like sometimes as a team, when you start calling out stuff as a player, then you kind of get hyper focused on, or get tunnel vision basically on that player, and you kind of lose sense of your own positioning. And we could have had a little bit of that there, where she was kind of moving in, wanted to get up for crescendo and try to maybe catch her in case Phoenix bullet timed. Obviously, he has great positioning, so that's never going to happen. And actually, we saw him really be patient with the Shen taunt as well, which was pretty clutch. He waited till he could get peeled so he could get off a bullet time and have it be super effective for his team.
Yeah, well, and if we look at the team that Phoenix is on here, he's got 4 people who could peel for him like champions. So that's not going to be a problem. A big issue here is just Rise already has a Frozen Heart, already has a Rod of Ages, and his tier's pretty stacked up as well. He's doing a lot of damage as well, and he's way harder to kill.
Got that Black Cleaver Shred also as well in the bullet time. Whenever that comes in again.
Yeah, that AoE damage with the damage lead they have is just devastating.
I mean, yeah, that's the dream. When you have AoE damage stuff, it's like you want to be ahead, because then you can actually melt your opponents very, very quickly.
Yeah.
If you fall behind, it can be a lot of trouble. So Rise rotating down. It looks like the team is going to form up a little bit here and probably push down. Looks like Ezreal blue pilling back here. And nope, they're actually going to rotate Phoenix up, just get him a red buff as well.
28 minutes here. Nobody's even attempted to get Baron control. I really feel Obzen should be able to get it almost for free here. They just got to have the wards up. And I feel that's going to be the next objective here, because they've had the opportunity to push some pressure onto those inner turrets, and they haven't really gone for it a whole lot yet. And those are the objectives waiting for them. They gotta pick one. They've got a big advantage here, but they got to put it to use. If this game stalls out, who knows what could happen.
Yeah, I mean, you only have so much advantage until your first advantage is the levels. If you get ahead, you can get level advantage on your opponents, and obviously that can be really, really huge. And then you can get item advantage, but eventually at some point, everybody hits level 18, and everybody gets max builds. So you want to take advantage of your advantages. Advantage of your advantage. Fun times, but anyways, yeah. You want to take what you want to snowball your advantage while you have the opportunity. You definitely don't want to sit on it if you don't have to. But I think they're just kind of getting set up here to start that push. We see 4 mid. We see Misfortune actually pushing that bottom lane for her team.
Yeah, I feel if Zesty Orange wants to get something done here, they're going to have to set up some wards, go for a catch maybe. But all that Obzen wants to do is be together as 5 and just push into people. We see another big item coming up from Jace. He has the Manamura. He is ready to deal a ton of damage with that Bloodthirster. He's just going to pop that tower down.
Yeah, Static Shiv added in by Misfortune as well.
Yeah, that's what she's a clearing monster now. Doesn't need that ultimate to do it anymore. Just going to be used for team fights. And they're going to take this turret, no problem.
Yeah, you can tell how confident they are, too, because Misfortune's basically almost like leading the pack there and doesn't even feel any pressure from Zesty Orange. Zesty Orange is basically completely backed off here. They have Shen pushing the mid turret, actually, at this point. Rotating a little bit up, maybe senses that Obzen is on the way to take them, but unless he does something really crazy, I don't think Obzen should really care about him at this point. I mean, he could come into a fight, but for the most part, they have all their outer turrets up, so unless they want a moral victory, I think they could probably just keep sieging as much as they want. They're going to clear out this wave.
He can push lanes fine, but he can't do a lot of turret damage, so if they just push 5 into 4, I don't think they can be stopped. They should have continued that push there. They might have been able to pick up the inhibitor turret, or at the very least the mid turret there, mid inner wouldn't have been no problem. But as I say that, Shen takes down the top turret and evens out that siege. So, I mean, they did get an inner turret, but that's something out of nothing. That shouldn't have happened.
Oh, Zesty Orange trying to make a play here and get this dragon. It looks like they are going to be able to pick it up, but now we're going to have an engagement. We see Tart going straight in onto Stone. Stone's going to get wrapped up. Me trying to get out, but takes a lot of upfront damage from Bullet Time. Kha'Zix trying to escape and sneak out of this one. Shen not quite able to do enough damage, and we have the gate plus flash from Phoenix to wrap up a triple kill. Now Kha'Zix trying to run from this. We see the flash from him. He is running, and really, I think, we see pings towards the bottom lane. That should be an easy turret for them to pick up. We see Phoenix splitting off, going to take that one. Meanwhile, the rest of Obzen heading towards this mid turret, a little bit ahead of their minions, but they have a big wave pushing in, so they're actually looking pretty good here, but it looks like what they're saying is hey, we could probably get inhib and take Baron. So
yeah, they had some split calls there. MF went straight bottom. Gonna probably get that inhib, no problem. We have they were all heading towards the mid lane as well, but then they decided to peel off and get Baron. They're gonna get that for free for sure.
Oh,
MF not quite gonna get that. See if she's gonna pay with her life. She does have the damage. She's gonna go for it.
The inhibitor.
Is she gonna get it? No.
Oh.
Kha'Zix does get the shutdown there as they pick up the Baron. So that's going to give them a little bit of time here. Let's see if they can get anything. I'd like to see a big stack up mid, try and get that mid turret, but really before the other team can respond. I don't know if they're going to go for it, though.
So, yeah, picking up that Baron's going to be pretty huge for them. Now they have more gold stacked up now, so they're going to be able to finish off some items, and we see Misfortune picking up a Guardian Angel on top of everything that's going on. So even if they finally do take her down, she is going to be able to come back in a team fight, and with that big, huge, beefy front line that she does have, probably still be able to be protected in the aftermath.
Yeah, that's twice now where she's kind of been off on her own in the bot lane, and she's paid for it. Kha'Zix has made her pay for it. That time, not as important. There wasn't really a big fight coming after. They're going to get away with it because of that Baron and because of the previous fight. But they were able to save that inhibitor. It'll probably go down here on the siege we have coming up with the Baron. But we'll have to see if something can be pulled out here by Team Zesty Orange. This is a best of 3, though. So, I mean, even just taking some confidence out of some engagements in a fight that you should be able to know, we're way behind here. They've got a champ like Rise, who's just a late game beast, and he's pretty much there. He's picked up the Manamura as well. They've got 2 Frozen Hearts on their team. They have an Aegis, which is a big difference as well. That armor buff to the whole team, making a big difference in every fight. It's just a lot of damage versus not a lot of damage, and it's showing every fight.
And one of the things we talked a little bit about yesterday in the game that we casted together was stamina. Mental, physical, and you come to these lands and you're trying to play it out, and it is early here. But one of the things you can do is you're in the losing advantage, like you said. You can actually stall this game out a little bit and kind of wear on your opponents, make them play a longer game, because they're the ones with the advantage that have to try to close this one out. I mean, you can try to. You don't give up the game. You can try to find an opening, but at the same time too, is you can kind of stall it out and maybe wear this team down a little bit in this early morning game.
And even if they don't end up winning, there's definitely some small victories that can be taken. There's some things that they can figure out from this game.
Oh. Bullet time actually canceled. Very, very nice there. And they're actually all over Phoenix. Phoenix actually hasn't been taken down. True Shot Barrage is going to take down that Guardian Angel. We see Kha'Zix basically just trying to camp Misfortune. Will he be able to take down Phoenix? Phoenix trying to kite this, and they're actually going to trade there. Meanwhile, the chase is on. Sona's going to be wrapped up here, and now they're going to be able to take on this inhibitor.
Oh,
the gate shot. Double kill. Acolytes.
That should be the game right there. Let's see if they push it home.
Nice job by Acolytes. They're taking a little bit of that other wave in mid lane.
That crescendo was very nice, but it just wasn't enough. They just don't have the damage to be able to do anything. Kha'Zix on MF the whole time, does end up taking her down, but the rest of the team went down in that. It was a 3v4 in the rest, because Tarek was right there with MF, but they were able to take down the rest of the team.
So big, huge ace for Obzen now, pretty much set up again just to take this game.
Yeah, I think they could have pushed it home there, but they're just going to play it safe. They take the inhib, they back off, and they're going to start up the siege again in probably about 1 minute.
See some items coming online for Zesty Orange, but for the most part, just bits and pieces. While you look across the other way, and Obzen's just pretty beasting right now.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of big items on that team. That GA is going to be down for the next fight, so be interesting to see how that affects the fight at all. Because if Kha'Zix gets that reset, could be a different story.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty much the ideal scenario is Kha'Zix goes in, he leaps in, kills someone, and then gets to leap and still put other damage on your team. But he was pretty much just locked in to dealing with Misfortune, and Phoenix, almost still, after all of that, came out on top and was able to live through it. So
yeah, I mean, they just throw Tarek and MF in there. MF did a bunch of damage to everybody else before that even happened, and then you just have that fight where all your damage is going up against most of their damage, but there's still a Rise, there's still a Jace, there's a lot of damage coming out of this Obzen team, and with the items they have, the item advantage they have with 12k lead here, the fights just aren't going to go the way of Team Zesty Orange if it's going to be Kha'Zix diving MF. It has to happen, but unless they can get that kill right away with the rest of the team, it's just the fight's just going to go very one-sided for Obzen.
Kind of a little bit interested too that Zesty's coming in here and trying to defend this turret. I mean, they're poking, they're still being a little bit safe, but at this point, it's not really a defensible turret. If you get caught, it could be lights out if Obzen decided to be there. But Obzen has that really safe mindset, like we're talking about here. Obviously, trying to systematically take this one down, even though they have a pretty huge advantage. Don't want to do anything too crazy, which, having that discipline is a very good sign for them moving on here so far. So this is a best of 3. So even if Obzen takes this, we'll have another game. Zesty Orange will be able to have a chance to make this an even game and possibly go to a game 3. But so far, Zesty Orange had that really, really great opening. But after that Lee Sin catch out, it's kind of the turning point where that mentality changed. They start out with a big, huge bang, and then after that, Obzen just playing the better game.
Yeah, I feel if they just continued that aggression even after that, this game would have had a much different story. Because Lee Sin still did have a lead on Shogath, and he could have been all over him in the jungle. and put that into lane pressure. Obzen's just going to pretty much push through here. We should have one major engagement pretty soon.
On MF. MF is going to pop that cleanse, but Kaz is going to jump on her and be able to take her out. Look at that. The dive is on. Rise and Cho'Gath have actually been separated out here. Now they're going to combine in the rest of this team fight. We see Kha'Zix jumping away. They really, Obzen being smart team that they are, realize that they don't even need to have to worry about that. But a double kill for Kha'Zix picking up a kill. But they're just going to clear out this last Nexus turret, focus onto the Nexus, and it looks like Obzen is going to take the first game of this best of 3.
Yeah, a 3 for 2, so a better engagement there, but you don't have any Nexus turrets anymore. You don't have any inhibitors. See if they can get some catches on the way out here.
Oh, the Diffa trying to go on here with that Rise damage and that Cho'Gath combined.
Yeah, that the Rise did really well in the mid lane there against that Kha'Zix. Keeping the Kha'Zix under control. Kha'Zix did a really good job, too, getting onto MF every single fight with that jump. I feel like Obzen could have done a lot more as far as peeling for MF. They have a really great peel team, but it just didn't happen. They were split up, and they didn't get punished for it because they have the damage. And that's going to be the game.
Bam. So first game going to Obzen. Very, very well done by them. And, Team That's Yours are going to have to rally, come back with something in here, and make it happen. So for right now, I am Pato. We're going to set up another game for you here shortly. With me is the Pimp Imp.
We got Rhett with us now.
What's up?
Shiner CCC joining the fold.
And so, yeah, we're going to give you a short commercial as we just set up this next game, and we're already getting invited, so this is going to be a quick turnaround. Welcome back to Gottacon 2013. We saw a pretty exciting game for our first round of the 8-team bracket that the Elite 8, if you will, that we've broken down to. It looks like both teams are just setting up in the lobby, and we'll be starting up here. So after the game, what do you think Zesty Orange? What do they have to tweak? Is it just a confidence thing or just a mentality thing like we were talking about, where they just need to, once they get advantage, take it? Or is there any little team comp things they should maybe possibly tweak here? Because I kind of feel like what we thought was going to happen, at least besides the invasion moves, Phoenix getting a really strong early game advantage and then snowballing that kind of with the team. That's kind of seemed to be the strategy for Obzen. Do you think Zesty Orange maybe comes back here and tries to throw something different at them to try to take advantage of Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, I really feel that they could have done a lot more to stop that bottom lane snowball. That really had a big effect on the game. I mean, Phoenix just had way more damage. And the late game teams that were coming out there, I mean, Lee Sin got that early advantage and then just fell right off. He just wasn't a big deal in those fights. And Cho'Gath's Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is going to be their huge tank. He was zoning out their whole team. I mean, most of those fights were Kha'Zix versus Taric and MF, and then 3v4 the rest of the fight. And even with just Rise, Jace, and Cho'Gath, they were able to win those fights against those 4 members. So I'm not really sure what they're looking to do here. They're probably going to have to try something different, but I feel if they just stay aggressive, it's going to be a huge difference.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely need to keep that aggression up, especially with the advantage they had. Because I thought they played it so smart in those early stages, and I felt like Obzen just kind of, I felt like they were gonna maybe fall off. Like maybe they were the ones with like the early morning jitters. We're talking about being a little bit tired coming into this tournament. But instead, they obviously sobered up, I guess, from that, and just played out the rest of the game really, really well.
We'll have to see how the level 1 change.